All right, so first episode, Sync Life. There is so many things to talk about.
Tons of things.
So many different things. But I think that just to set the foundation and kind of like the ground level, just a little background about me, so you guys kind of like get to know us a little bit. So I started in real estate in 2009 with no license as an assistant. Fast forward in 2011, I got my license. Started building my team with 4 agents. And then became top producer agent for the brokerage that I was working at that time, which was a big traditional real estate brokerage. In 2014, decided to take a risk and got into management, recruiting. I was part of the management executive team for a small brokerage in San Fernando Valley in LA. I did that for about 3 years, learned a lot of stuff, made a lot of mistakes, got to see the industry from a different angle, different perspective. And in 2017, I decided again to take a risk and build Sync Brokerage, which is a technology-driven real estate brokerage. And you guys will get to know a little bit more about that. What's so different about Sync? Moving forward, I think that right now, 2023, there is a lot of discussions about the market. There is a lot of discussions about real estate, mortgage, the economy. And so let's start with the fact that us as a boutique brokerage, I think that nationwide everyone has seen the pullback by the market. But one of the things that I do want to highlight is that if you're an agent that you've been able to see at least one cycle of the market or 2 cycles of the market, number one, we are in a recession. That's a given. Number 2, the real estate market is actually really good regardless. And I think that the newer agents that started in real estate within the last 5 years, those are the agents that they're not used to this market because they came in when it was all about rainbows and flowers and unicorns. Yeah. It was a very easy market. Nowadays, in my opinion, we have a market that is normal. I think the interest rate should be, it is where it should be, stable, anywhere between 5 and 6. That's a stable market, it's a normal rate. Mm-hmm. I believe that if the interest rate goes below 5%, it's gonna get wild, it's gonna get crazy again, and we're gonna have a very unhealthy real estate market once again. Interest rate, I think, is where it should be as of right now.
Yeah, but let me take you back really quick. You mentioned that the market was the unicorns, lollipops, and rainbows, right? But the agents now, right, the ones who've been through it, they know it's a skills-based market right now for real estate agents. So if you didn't develop the skills over the last 3 years, wouldn't you say those agents are going to have issues or problems if they're not learning the skills, if they didn't already have those skills to sell a home?
Yes, and to that, I actually posted something in social media this morning that I'm gonna say it here, again with no filter. When I was working out this morning, and as I was thinking,
at what time?
4:30.
Jesus Christ, man.
So as I I was working out, I was thinking, okay, real estate is one of the very few industries where you can make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Some people make 6 digits, 7 digits even, mm-hmm. and if you're really good, you can scale up from there. And this industry, where you can have exposures to so many opportunities and a great income, mm-hmm. It's very sad that the standards and requirements for a person to become a real estate agent or a real estate broker are so low.
So low.
And just kind of like reading an article, I think that within the last quarter of 2022, a lot of the new licensees, 27% of agents mm-hmm. already dropped out.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, when I'm reaching out to agents trying to connect, a lot of them are texting me, oh, I'm sorry, I just, got a part-time job because I still have the bills to pay. Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing it part-time. It was expected, it was going to happen. And that actually happened back in 2006, right before the market crash. And just going based on data, back in 2006, when the market was booming, I believe there were about 376,000 licensees.
In California.
real estate in California, yeah, in
Okay.
California, real estate licensees. And there were about 119,000 brokers in 2006.
Wow.
When the market collapsed in 2008, then obviously the number of applications and number of real estate agents started declining, right? That was a cycle. Since 2014, let's say 2016 until 2021, 22, that cycle came back. And now we had about 226,000 licensees and 90,000 brokers. And again, I want to clarify, these are active people.
Correct.
Meaning that they're selling real estate.
They don't just hold a license.
Correct.
They're
So-
actually selling real estate.
Total licenses right now in California, we have over 376,000. But active, 226.
Wow.
And brokers, we have about over 90,000 brokers active. Now, people, and again, there's still so many different areas that we can touch in regards to that subject. Because the market was hot, interest rates are so low, people are getting into a property with a very low, interest rate, a very affordable mortgage payment to the house of their dream, and selling houses essentially was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that motivated a lot of individuals to get their license and jump into real estate. Now the number of applications went up. Besides the fact of the media promoting the fake industry, right? The Bravo show, the Netflix show, selling a multi-million-dollar property, going to Twilight Brokers open houses, eating at fancy restaurants, driving the fancy cars, dressing nice, and having this fancy lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what the media projects.
Yeah.
And that's what the consumer sees. Therefore, they get an inspiration of, oh, let me go get my license because that's going to change my life. So all of that in combination of the market, now you have a bunch of people that became licensed. And when they actually go and join a brokerage, again, especially a traditional, very well-known Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Keller Williams, RE/MAX, you name it, the first thing they tell them, you need to start prospecting.
Yeah.
A lot of those brokerages, they use a lot of traditional ways to coach agents. Now, the issue is in an industry that you make so much money with very low requirements to become licensee, now the responsibility for the success of the agent is onto the broker.
Correct. But
Right?
they don't take on that responsibility at all.
It shouldn't be the broker's responsibility.
No.
It should be the agent's responsibility.
Absolutely.
And so there is a misconception about this industry that if I'm not successful as an agent in this industry, I'm gonna blame it to the company or the broker because they're not giving me the support, resources, and coaching.
But that seems just natural. Like, we do that in life for anything. Like if you're not successful in your classroom when you were at the university, you would blame it on the teacher, not yourself, but you weren't studying. So it's psychology. It actually makes sense that they would blame the broker.
To a certain level, yes, the company and the broker are responsible for the agent's success, but the bottom line is every single individual is responsible for their own success,
Correct.
right?
It's funny that you say that. I'm going to stop you right there because it's kind of crazy that you would say it's the responsibility of the agent, right, to go ahead and get the skills and do the work and all that stuff.
Chuck wants some.
But even at Sync, though, I don't think you have that philosophy because I
No.
see you, I watch you. You're involved with every single agent and their transaction, helping them along. I've seen you door knock. I've seen you do open houses with agents. These are stuff that I've worked for big brands before, and my manager never did that. Actually,
Are you laughing about this, or are you laughing about
that's
your thing?
hilarious. I'm talking about the irony. So the irony of how you just said
Snoop Dogg style.
Snoop Dogg style. The irony that you're saying that it's the agent's responsibility, but you and your own brokerage take on the responsibility to ensure that your agents have success. So talk about that while you're lighting up your blunt. I don't think you should inhale that sage. Treat it like a cigar.
It's a joke.
I know, it's a joke.
So let me put that aside.
That's hilarious.
Why I thought about bringing the sage? Nowadays, if an agent is not successful with their business, all you see them is lighting up sage.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's like, can you light up some Palo Santo? Can you light up sage? Like, Something is going on with the vibe,
Bad energy, yeah.
and they're pushing the responsibility and the market shifting to burn sage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, look, I believe in energy and I believe in all those things. And I love, burning sage in my house and at the office, but you cannot just depend on energy. Energy without action means nothing.
Yep.
So one of the things, going back to what you were saying about these brokerages, is most brokerages, they continue coaching and training agents the traditional ways, right? Meanwhile, the cycle of evolution continues moving forward.
Yeah.
So as technology is kicking in, consumer behavior is changing. You cannot expect an agent to continue marketing themselves as you were coaching and training an agent 20, 30 years ago. Right? A lot of things have changed.
Of course.
Funny story, my mom is 72, my daughter is 9 years old. We're at the dining table. One is connected to the iPhone, the other one is connected to the iPad. Right there, you have about 60-something years in between difference. They're both connected to a device. So with that said, real estate agents need to find new ways of getting in front of the consumer, spending those dollars in a different way where you get the consumer's attention right away.
Yeah.
Now, door knocking, open houses, and sending postcards, and what else you guys do? The farming thing, doing farming is not for every agent.
Correct.
Now, don't take me wrong. I see a lot of agents that are very successful. Excuse me. They're very successful by doing those activities, but they do it with consistency, right? Once they grab a neighborhood, they don't let it go like a pit bull.
Yeah.
Now, that is not for everyone. There are agents that you see, and they're very outgoing. They love socializing. Maybe their thing is to go to restaurants, bars, or just go in and start conversations, or go to networking events, create connections with business managers and CPAs, attorneys, wealth management, things like that. For example, I have one of our agents in Beverly Hills office. I know for a fact she doesn't have what it takes to make phone calls.
Okay.
Mind you, not even to do door knocking. She's not going to do it. She's not cut off for that thing. But she's great looking, and she has a great network. So she was actually thinking about starting doing phone calls and door knocking and farming.
Yeah.
And I told her, you're going to waste your time because you're not going to be successful doing that. Instead, use the network, the people that you know, and start going to events. We're in Beverly Hills. There's a lot of money in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Start going to restaurants. Start going, and networking at different places. Connect with people.
Yeah.
That's the way you're going to be able to build your business. Connecting to the next person that will connect you to the next person.
Yeah, but here's the reality of things, right? So most agents get into...
I'll light it up outside.
most agents get into real estate, and they only have a set amount of money, that they have to invest, actually to pay their bills. So you're saying go to restaurants, go here, go there. Some of these agents can't afford to do that, especially in Beverly Hills.
Right.
It reminds me of a story, and I kind of agree with you, but I don't agree with you, because there was a successful real estate agent back in the day. This is an old school way. He used to go to the Beverly Hills Hotel Polo Lounge, right? In Beverly Hills, and he basically called it his $20 marketing plan. Now, today, it would probably be a $40, $50 marketing plan, but he would buy a salad and a water and sit at the bar and talk to the bartender, tip well. Reason being is everybody who was successful, he would point out who that person was. So that was his marketing plan. So it kind of goes to what you're saying, right? Go to these places, spend money. But what do you do if you're that agent who doesn't have the money to spend at those restaurants?
You grind until you can buy yourself a meal.
But there's the grinding. What is the grinding? Is the grinding the door knocking, the phone calls, the stuff that is free, which we call sweat equity, right?
Is the sweat equity, and not too many people are willing to
get dirty.
Put the sweat equity and get dirty to build your business. You know, I think that in our industry there is a lot of lack of work ethic.
Absolutely.
Again, a lot of agents, they come with the wrong expectations that they're thinking they're gonna sell their first $1 million home, make a lot of money, but they have no foundation. one of the major issues in our industry is most agents don't have structure. Or they don't have a structure and they don't know where they're going.
I would say they may have had structure because a lot of people come from the workforce, working 40 hours a week, so on and so forth, and they absolutely hated it. So they said, you know what, I want to work for myself. But they never learned that structure. That's why the company you work for told you had to clock in at 8 o'clock, clock out at 12, go to lunch, mandatory to go to lunch per the laws, and then leave by 5, but do not work overtime because we're not going to pay it. And if you do, you're in trouble, you get written up. They hated that. So now they come into an industry like this where they think it's, free reign, but now all of a sudden, the first thing we do when we sit down with an agent is we talk about schedules. And it kills me that I go ahead and I sit down with an agent and they absolutely do not have a schedule. So back to that. Problem. So back to that, you're saying you need to have a structure, but they actually left their career wherever they were at because they hated structure. So how do you combat that?
So number one, a lot of in general, not just in this industry, but whenever a person has a job and they used to work for someone 9 to 5 and they have a salary with benefits.
What's 9 to 5, by the way? I haven't done that in a long time.
Exactly. Most people know what's a 9 to 5. They're used because they have this comfort level, right? And they have this employee mindset. When they decide to take a chance and become an independent contractor, quote unquote, they're now business owners, independent contractors. They're their own boss. They go into an industry still with the employee mindset, but they don't apply the schedule thing. And you just said it, which I love what you just mentioned, the 40-hour a week to get a paycheck. So that's the thing. When you ask a real estate agent nowadays how many hours you work a week, I'm shocked. There are agents working, they will answer you, I'm working about 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Or 3 hours a day. Someone that is really active might tell you, I'm working 6 hours a day, right? And actually, if you find an agent that is working 6 to 8 hours a day, it's a great agent.
Yeah, usually.
But for the most part, these agents are working 4 hours or less a day.
I think there's 3 types of agents. I'm just stopping you there. The 4 hour or less are the 4 hour or less who are, I don't want to call them lazy, but lazy, right? Then you have your middle, 6 to 8 hours. Those are your good agents. Then you have the agents who are working 10 hours, but they're not getting any work done. Have you seen that before?
Yes, because the activities they select are the wrong activities, and they're not really prioritizing their activities or the things they're doing or the people they're talking to generate income.
Yeah.
Again, we see it all the time. Agents might come, they might be busy, but they're actually checking on their Facebook account. They're actually on the phone with mom, dad, or a family member or their friend.
Yeah.
They might actually set up a lunch meeting, but it's actually with their best friend.
Who's not going to buy real estate.
All of those things are not activities that are generating income or building your business. And this is when we have a one-on-one with one of our agents. Number one is you need to set the expectations, the foundation and structure for their business, and give them some kind of direction. This is where you're going based on, their desires.
Yeah.
And so when you actually have someone that used to work 40 hours and now they're working 4 hours, they're not going to be successful. I'll tell you, nowadays, I've been in real estate since 2009. And even though, I own Sync, I'm still putting 12, 14 hours every day. It's supposed to be like, let me slow down and spend more time at home. Yeah. No. I mean, and again, you develop this passion for the industry, right? So for me, it doesn't seem that I'm working, but I'm just so passionate about, what's the next thing that you just keep, working without feeling it. And I think that what we're lacking in the industry is a lot of agents that are passionate about real estate. A lot of people do it for the money, which is, again, is great. And a lot of people BS themselves saying, I just want to deliver, help people become, reach the American dream and deliver, dreams and come true or whatever. That's BS.
Yeah.
You did it because you want the freedom, the money, and you want to build something that you don't depend on anyone else.
Correct.
But imagine if an agent applied the 40-hour schedule into their business, they will kill it.
Yeah.
They will kill it. With the right activities, with direction, they will kill it.
It's called treat your business like a business.
And we see agents going, I had an agent once. She used to be an employee 40 hours a week. She came into the industry. She did great. She dropped the ball. Business has slowed down. She went back to the 9 to 5. Every week she was getting a paycheck of, I think it was like $850 every week, 9 to 5, working for as an assistant for a CPA or something. She lasted 2 months because she was so frustrated. She has no freedom. She has to clock in, clock out by 5. And it actually helped her realize, shit, why am I doing this for somebody else that is paying me $20 an hour or $25 an hour when I could do the same amount of hours for my own business? So she quit that job. She came back to her business, applied the 40 hours into her business, and the next year she killed it again.
Wow. You know what? You actually just inspired me. I think what I'm going to do is actually install a time clock at our Woodland Hills office and our Studio City office and tell the agents, look, you got to clock in, clock out. Imagine if you did that. You know, obviously by law we can't do that because they're not employees, but just a fictitious time clock that they had to clock in. Now, not all agents have to go into the office, right? But I've learned over the last 10, 12 years that the agents that I've seen come to the office at least in the morning and then come back at the office sometime, in the afternoon, those were always the top agents, So, I mean, clocking in, clocking out is essential. You should be doing it in your head. But I like the idea of just putting up a time clock and say, hey, clock in.
You got to make it a lifestyle, man. And I can tell you in this cycle of the market, we're going to continue seeing agents quitting and going finding a job. There's 2 things that are going to happen because we have too many agents. And actually, when you go based on the number of licenses we have and the number of transactions that an average brokerage is closing, I don't want to be an ass, but I'm just going to put it out there. So yesterday I saw in social media 2 large brokerages combining forces, and they're so proud of promoting. We are one of the largest brokerages in California with over 100x number of agents as one brokerage. And when you run their productivity, dude, less than 20% of the hundreds of agents they have are producing. Now, what happens is this, and this is what agents don't understand. For big traditional companies, it is actually very convenient for the DRE to have low requirements and regulations for a person to become licensee. Why? Because when the market slows down, they come out with the university of coaching real estate people, right? Or coaching people how to build their real estate business. So when the market comes down, they go hard on recruiting new licensees so they can pack these offices with 300, 400, 500 agents, selling them on the coaching system, selling them on the website, because the reality is those companies, again, no filter, they don't really care about building your business and making an impact in your life, right? They want hundreds of agents under those companies because they're making money with them regardless they sell houses or not. Now, that's what's happening now. But when you run their productivity, those companies don't have the production. There was actually a report that traditional companies back in early 2000, based on the number of transactions they were closing and the number of agents they had, every transaction represented 1.5 agents. Nowadays, every transaction they close represents 2.5 agents to 3 agents. So that means that for every house you sell, there are 3 agent headcount on that company. Now, as a boutique brokerage, and by the way, one of the things that we focus, we don't hire new agents, we don't hire part-time agents for a reason. The only time we hire a new agent is number one when they have the fire and the drive and they're committed to do it full time, and we can see that person is coachable, right? And we have multiple examples. Now, as a boutique, just to kind of throw numbers out there, based on 2022 production for us as a boutique, for every for every agent that we have, we sold 2.8 homes. So it's the opposite.
Correct.
Right? So every agent that we have, and we have right now 150 agents, multiply that, every agent sold at least 2.8 homes, almost 3 homes per agent, instead of having one house times 3 agents.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite. Why? Because it doesn't mean to have a large number of agents to represent quality and volume,
Yeah.
right? And productivity, but it's about finding the right small group of people that are driven, are committed, and they really want to make a difference in the housing industry.
Yeah.
And when you actually get an agent, a broker, or a company with the same values, work ethic, and vision, and they work together as business partners, then now you're really helping agents building a career, building a business that at some point can work for them, and which ideally, one of the core values I think is the idea of building these companies to really change people's life as we're building a business, and we're doing it. So I think that is one of the major issues in the industry, that you have to really select the people that are coming on board, and everything starts from management down to the agent.
Yeah.
You have to focus on quality to really help and impact people changing their career and their life.
100%. So, you mentioned something that I wanted to talk about too. You mentioned we use a system to look at agents' productions, and we call agents, text, email, all that good stuff. Everybody's doing it. But there's times where I'm calling agents, and I try not to get new agents, but I could see some of their production. So some days I'll go for the top dog. Sometimes I'll go for people who've sold 2-3 deals, right? Because there's opportunity there. We have hundreds of agents. I'm sorry. We have hundreds of examples, but really it's like probably tens of examples of agents who've been successful from 3 and turning that from 3 to 12, 12 to 25, whatever. So calling agents with 2 or 3 deals, and you call them and they literally are the most mean people on the phones, right? And I know that they've only closed, if you do the math, for the whole year, they made 30 grand. What the hell is up with
I think that will be a great...
And hold on, if you're an agent and you only have 3 deals and I call you, you better fucking pick up.
I think that has to... I think we need to do an episode about, ego and how egocentric is the real estate industry, unfortunately. And I think that boils down to that. And I mean, we can have a whole episode just on that topic.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, and again, we see it all the time, the purpose of this, show is to really help people out there, guide people out there, and prevent them from making mistakes that we see every day happening. From the agent that closes a deal and goes and spends $5,000 in the swag and the Louis Vuitton bag and all of this expensive stuff, which in reality, when you're starting your business and you're closing your first deal, that money needs to go back into your business to generate more revenue and multiply yourself at some point.
Yeah.
But instead, they spend it on, lifestyle. So, and that's an issue that we see in the industry, because they're trying to fit in and put up with everything that is sold in the media, social media, right? You're trying to keep up with the rest of the industry, driving the BMWs, the expensive cars, having the bell, the bag, the red bottoms, all of that. So it's a very expensive lifestyle to keep up with.
Yeah.
But if you shift the mentality and you see your business as a business and invest that money back into your business, sooner or later, you're going to be in a better position than most people in the industry.
Yeah. I have a good friend who works for one of the big name companies, and he's been in the business for a while. He made $1 million to himself. He made $1 million, profit, let's call it, to himself. He sold a lot of homes. And so I said, dude, you had a breakthrough. What the hell happened? He said, I finally started investing 20% of what I made every deal back into my business. And that's how I made $1 million. So he basically spent $200,000 in marketing to make that $1 million.
I think when you really want to build something that it's a long term, by my own experience, and a lot of the stuff that we're gonna be sharing, moving forward, is a stuff that is actually happening. We have implemented. I have gone through myself, but since I started my career, most of my income has gone back into the business.
Yeah.
Why? Because I have a vision where I want to see myself, my family, and everyone around me. And when you have that direction and a purpose, and you start investing your money into your business, that thing is just gonna multiply.
Yeah.
Instead of spending it and burning the cash.
Yeah.
You burn the cash, and the next month you come and burn
the
sage,
I love it.
praying for more.
That's hilarious.
The purpose of this live show is to really deliver value to our industry, right? This is to really guide you and inspire you, give you guidance, and kind of show you a direction how to build your business, right? You might find value, and always, whenever we're posting these live, sync live episodes, look for one thing.
That's it.
Look for one thing every time we share one of these episodes.
The golden nugget.
The golden nugget.
Correct.
And the one thing that we kindly ask you is to, make a comment, share the episode on social media, follow us on social media, and make a comment. This is an open blog, an open, podcast, sync live show for everyone. Make a comment, make a recommendation. What is the next subject that you would like us to speak about? Right? What is the one thing you want to learn about? Whether it's investments, real estate, building your team, comp plans, commission plans, for teams, how to invest, using other people's money, how to, start building your team to a company. I mean, different things, even from, self-development and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So make a comment, make a suggestion. What is the next subject that you want us to talk about? And, our purpose and our commitment is to bring it, and have those conversations live and deliver value. Deliver value and help you guys out there, especially on a market that has changed, really help you and guiding you on how to leverage and build momentum.
100%. Love it. Great first episode.
For
dude.
next one, please bring the weed.
Yeah, I will.
Not sage.
No sage. The real stuff. All right. Great episode, dude. Congrats.
It was good.